I'm an alcoholic, and my name is Albert. I forgot my name for a minute there. Uh, Thank you, Christina. And I see every time you say it, you think about it before you say it. FCYPAA, Florida Conference of Young People and Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. So I usually going to introduce a speaker, but my speaker had life come up. She's trying to finish school, and I totally get it. She did give me enough notice, but the rest of our committee is a little busy as well. So I took it upon myself to just, instead of bothering people, I'll just speak. I'll try to talk slow for Tristan and the rest of the interpreters. I'm a little bit of a fast talking person. So let's start. I have a sobriety date, which is November 11th of 2014. So a couple months ago, I picked up 6 years of continuous sobriety, days, nights, weekends. Um, I have a sponsor who knows he's my sponsor. I spoke to him today, actually, after 2 days of trying to call him. And I joke with him. I'm like, it's lucky I don't hold on to resentments, and I didn't really need you. And I'm used to calling other people when you don't answer my phone calls. So we had a big laugh about that. And I have a home group, which is the South Miami Men's Group. If you're ever here in South Florida, all the men are welcome. Ladies, it is a men's group, but if you need a meeting, we will let you come in because that's what AA does. It doesn't matter if it's a men's meeting, women's meeting, LGBTQ. I think I said that right. It doesn't matter. AA is AA, and if they're going to honor their traditions and what we stand for, they're going to let you in that meeting. It's a little weird when a woman comes to a men's meeting because we have to curtail what we normally are like when we're just all men. But we pass the message if we can because that's what we're supposed to do. So, experience, strength, and hope in about 20 minutes. Let me set a timer because I will overtalk. I was born in the Midwest, specifically Wichita, Kansas. Yes, I've heard all the jokes. You're not in Kansas anymore. Click your heels 3 times, Dorothy. I'll drop a house on your sister, even though I have a younger brother. I'm a military brat. I traveled around a lot up until my younger brother was born and we were back in Kansas. And then eventually my father got stationed here in Florida, and I've been here ever since. Um, I grew up in Miami from the time I was about 4 or 5 years old. I was a hyperactive ADH, whatever you call it today, type of kid. So my first interaction with any kind of drugs was Ritalin back in the day. A nice little amphetamine that, if you're hyper like me, it calms you. If you're normal, you eat it and you run around. And I realized I was different when my friends were like, "How are you so calm?" And I'd be like, "Here, take this pill." And not knowing at 7 or 8 years old that I was giving my friends amphetamines, and I would watch them run around my house, and I was like, "Why? I'm not like that. You know, if I don't take this pill, I'm like that. But if I take this pill, I'm normal." And that was my deal. You know, my psychiatrists, my doctors, they're always trying to find this right medication to make Albert fit in normally. I always thought I was a normal kid. You know, I just had a lot of energy, and they needed to find a way to burn it off. And they found it with medication. So I went through the whole spectrum with Ritalin, Dexedrine, Tofranil, lithium, you name the drug in the 80s. The doctors were throwing it at me. You know, I guess I was the test guinea pig. Um, I went from like a very active kid to a kid that would blah. You know, I was there, I do my work, and I would be I'd focus, but not like I'm a very talkative person, very outgoing. And when I was on this medication, I was very not. Uh, through junior high, high school, that's what I was like. You know, I try to fit in with a bunch of different crowds. I grew up in a pretty, I guess, it's suburban area, but we had the bad element, we had the good element, and I was friends on both sides. I always try to fit in, always try to be the people pleaser. I joined the band in junior high to fit in. I joined the band. I joined the wrestling team. I joined, what else did I do? ROTC in high school. The all kinds of stuff to fit in with group. Uh, FBLA, which is the Future Business Leaders of America, only because I was a great debater. Um, I did this to fit in, and I still never fit in. You know, I was either too smart for the bad kids, or I was too bad for the smart kids. Um, and it wasn't until, plus the drugs that I was on didn't really help with the prescribed drugs. And then when I was about 16 or 17, I decided I didn't want to do this stuff no more. You know, be taking against medical advice. I took myself off, and then started the other stuff. So I'm not going to hit you with the whole huge drunk-a-log because we all know how we got here, but I will hit you with some highlights. The first time I ever smoked pot, I was 17 years old. I smoked 17 joints. That's a normal person's activity, right? No, it's not. That's insanity and craziness. The first time I tripped acid, it was my senior year of high school, 3 hits, 7:30 in the morning through the whole day of school, tripping out on acid. That's what sane people do, right? No, that's what we do. The first time I got drunk was I was mixing Cisco and 7 and 7. Not the smartest thing to do. I don't remember much about that night except for I woke up the next day in the complex across the street from the complex I started at. My car was stolen by my friends. I was soaking wet. Have no recollection of the night until they told me what had happened. Let's see. The first time I did other activities, it was a lot. I mean, it was always a lot. There was never no moderation for me. It was always all or nothing. How are you going to show up with one bag of this or 1 6-pack of that? How are you going to show up with a pint of this? I need the 750. I need the 1.5 milliliter. I need the ounce of this. I need the, it was bad. And it was all or nothing. And that's what my life was like. I don't know how I functioned. I don't know. In the beginning, I wasn't much of the drinker. I was more of the herbal guy. I always had it on me and I was always getting there. But since this is AA, I'll keep that out of it, even though Bill and Bob did that in their stories and their drugs. And you have an issue with it, I'm sorry, but there's a sponsor for that. So let's get back to alcohol. Why I was doing that, like I said, I wasn't much of a drinker. But when I gave all that stuff up to go pursue a government job, I had to put something in. So I gave up all these other activities. I had to fill it with another vice, and alcohol took over really quickly. I got addictive personality. Say 28 to 28, 29, 30. I was the weekend kind of drinker. I was a bartender. I was living the good life. It was always shot o'clock or beer 30. Guests would buy you drinks. You buy them a shot. Take shots with bachelorettes. That's what guys do when you're a bartender, especially when you're the bar manager and you can get away with some stuff. I had a good life, but it started as a weekend thing, and then I would come in on a Monday to do inventory, and then I'd be drinking with the GM, and then Tuesday would come around and I'd be doing office work and I'd be drinking. And before you know, it was an everyday thing. And I stayed off all that other stuff, trying to get this government job, and this is where I found myself in the book. It basically says something in the book where that we're really good at doing stuff, and then the day it's due, we'll do something stupid like drink. I believe there's a story in it, and then the guy winds up like gone for like a couple days. That was me. So I got the government job. I was supposed to report to Port Everglades International Airport to get my plane ticket to go to Georgia to go to customs, to go to CBP. Back then they called it customs. And I figured since I haven't done any kind of other drugs but alcohol in the last 5 or 6 years, I was going to go get a little 8-ball of that, little ounce of this. And I was awake to show up to get my stuff, but I was not in the right state of mind. And I was afraid if I showed up in the condition I was in, they were going to arrest me on the spot. So of course I didn't show up, and I blew a really good government job, that would have set me up for pretty much life, because I'm a drug addict and alcoholic. I'm a selfish son of a bitch. It's all about me. So when that happened, of course, I'm just going to go all out and go back into what I was doing. And, I included all those other activities, and it caught up with me. I don't know how I graduated college, top of my class, in running for valedictorian, which is not a really big deal, valedictorian of a culinary school. Whoa. But in my world, that's a huge accomplishment. But I was not a fall down drunk. I was a functioning alcoholic. It wasn't until I graduated school and had the great job, had the great car, that my life was in prison. I would basically get up in the morning, and I would come 2 in the morning. Sorry, I wouldn't get up. I would go to work at 6 a.m. I would work from 6 to 6, and as soon as I would think the whole day, I'm not going to drink today. I'm not going to drink today. And soon as either a guest pissed me off because they didn't like my food, or they complimented me on my food, or a server made me mad, or a server complimented me, anything. As soon as somebody mentioned something to me that took me in either mood, happy or sad, I was like, I got to get out of here. I can't wait to drink. and I didn't know why. And that lifestyle took me up until I suffered for some headaches for about a week, and I figured it was from drinking. This was in 2013. Um, I went to the hospital. They said, yeah, you just got some migraines. Here's a script for some pain meds. We're going to give you some pain meds here. First thing I'm thinking is, yeah, I'm going to go. I know where there's a 24-hour pharmacy. I'm going to get these filled. Pain meds are good, even though I didn't really like popping pills. What the hell? But when those don't work and don't take it away, I figured it was because I wasn't. At first I figured because I was drinking and I stopped, and then I figured because I wasn't drinking, I was withdrawing. So let's go back to drinking. This is before I was trying to seek another second opinion, and it wasn't for another week that went by, and then my headaches got worse, and then I finally went to a hospital, to Baptist, and they had a different diagnosis. They're like, look, we're going to give you a deeper scan of your brain. We don't like the way your MRI looked. I mean, your CAT scan looked. We're also going to give you a spinal tap. So when they mentioned the word spinal tap, the first thing that popped in my mind is, oh, I got meningitis, but I caught it. We're going to be good. Meningitis will kill you instantly. It's not something to joke about, but I was like, cool, we caught it. We're good. I'm going to get it fixed and get back out there and start doing my thing. And it wasn't until they came back and they told me that I had 2 brain aneurysms, one on each side of my vertebral artery. You have 2 arteries that supply your brain, and it's the only blood that goes up there. And I had them on each side. They're like, we don't know how you're walking and talking, but you're going to emergency surgery. And that was April 27th of 2013. Spent a few months in the hospital with some really good drugs. I get why people shoot up when they came with a Dilaudid and they said, hey, how you doing? What's your pain level like? And I'd mumble something out and they would hit me in the arterial. I had an arterial line. I had a PICC line. I had all kinds of crap hanging out of me. And I would disappear for 8 hours. And that was my life for a few weeks. And the whole time with those drugs, I wanted to drink. And I didn't know why I craved alcohol so much. I needed to drink. Even though I know that was what put me in there, or one of the factors why I was in there. There was a couple other combinations, but alcohol was the main. If I would drink, I would lead other ways. And then when I finally got out of the hospital, of course, I was hooked up to a couple PICC lines still, and I was still getting IV antibiotics. But when the doctor cleared me and pulled everything out, he's like, look, you can't do some things anymore. He's like, you can't get drunk anymore. And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to work. He's like, you can't smoke cigarettes anymore. And I was like, I don't know how that's going to work. That took me a year to quit smoking cigarettes. He says, but if you want to drink, you can't drink hard liquor. And I was not a beer and wine guy. I'm a straight booze, quick. It's instant. I can chug a pint and be good. Got to drink 12 beers to get where I drink 1 pint of vodka. So, but what he did say is you can have a glass of beer and a glass of wine. So my alcoholic thinking, if I buy a big bottle of wine or a big bottle of beer and I drink it out of that glass and I don't pour it into another glass, it's one. So that night I got together with some friends and met up at their house and then proceeded to do what I was doing. And I don't know how I got it from one end of Miami back to my house, but I woke up in the front yard, my car on the music blasting, my younger brother screaming at me. Says, look, you just went through this. And if you want to continue this route and you wind up in the hospital, I'll make sure the family's not there for you. And that was enough to scare me. Not that, see, death didn't scare me. It was kind of freaked out. And maybe it went a little hard, but my brother pulling the family was enough for me to reach out to a friend of mine. And he's like, look, I can help you, but I can't be your sponsor, even though I got some time. We're running mates. We've done shit together. But I'll give you this guy's number. And of course, I had to wait till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning to call this guy because I didn't want help. I just wanted to perceive like I needed help. But this dude was waiting for me to call 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And he asked me how I was doing, and I lost it. I was crying for 30-45 minutes, bitching about my life. And let's see, where are we at a time? Oh, got to wrap this up soon. And he said, look, do me a favor. If you have any more booze, drink it, and don't drink tomorrow. Drink what you have today, but don't drink tomorrow. We'll bring you to a meeting. And that was July 18th of 2013. So my sobriety date's in November of the following year. So I didn't obviously get it the first time. But I sure bragged about it like I was going to get it the first time, one of those ego-driven things. We took 4 4 white chips to do this. The last 2, one was over resentment of my dad not calling me on my birthday. And God damn it, that son of a bitch calls me every year on my birthday now. And that's God doing for me what I can't do for myself. And it made me feel stupid when he called. Like, I got drunk 2 days before my birthday and he called me on my birthday. So I thought about the resentment, got drunk over the resentment, and the resentment didn't happen. It says in the book, resentment's the number 1 offender that takes out more alcoholics. Trust me, it does. Let them go. There's no point. Pray over it. Pray that you hate getting over it. Pray whatever. Just get over the resentment. And then the last one was just stupidity. You know, I just wanted to be fucked up, and it wasn't even over alcohol. I took some Percocets that were prescribed to me, but I took them not for prescription use, and almost got in a huge car accident with the girl that I was dating at the time. And you know, that was the last time I put anything in my system. I was still miserable as fuck. Went through a huge breakup, but I started doing these steps. I started working this program with my new sponsor now. Yeah, that first one, I still never saw I knew my life was powerless over alcohol. I didn't see the unmanageability. I did not, you know, I had a good job, good car. Even in the hospital, I didn't see the unmanageable. Yeah, it was just a fluke, you know, it's a medical accident that I had 2 brain aneurysms and survived, you know. Step 2, that came to believe, power greater yourself. Yeah, that took me a little bit, but I found it. And then, and I found it when I did that step 3 prayer. There's a church over here where my mom lives. I don't know why I pointed. You guys don't know where I'm at, but I pointed. It's right down the street. But I've been there inside the church. I've been outside the church. We played basketball at the church. There's a huge stained glass window, and I never noticed there's a picture of Jesus in the glass window. And when me and my sponsor then did that prayer sitting on Old Cutler in like the middle of the night, and he told me to look up, and I saw the Jesus picture, and I'm like, I've never noticed that before. He's like, because you find your higher power. And today it's a God of my misunderstanding. I don't know what that he, she, they, whatever that person, entity, spirit of the universe wants from me. I just know I got to get out of my own way and do that will. 4 was 4 months and 4 hours. 4 months of me sitting on my ass with columns 1, 2, and 3 done. I didn't see my part in any of it. And my sponsor says either do it or find a new sponsor. I was like, fuck, I don't want to start again. So sat down 4 hours and found my part and all that. And yeah, it's kind of weird trying to find that. We sat on his lake by his house and got eaten by mosquitoes where I did step 5. That's some willingness right now, even with the off and the citronella candles around us. We were getting tore up, you know, 4 hours of sitting out there. But I did it, you know. I felt like shit, like everybody else. And I did what he said when we do step 6, put your book on the shelf and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why do I got to put it on the shelf? He's like, because the book tells you to. We're a book solution group. We do it by the book. And it really pissed me off because he was right. The answers are in the book. 6 and 7, there's really not too much in the book about. There's not really too much it plays on 12 in the 12 and 12, but he gave me a chore. He told me to take all those white chips that I've have collected and write the virtue on the front, which write the 7 deadly sins on one side and the virtues of those sins on the other side, and pick one up every day and concentrate on that sin and virtue. And I've been doing it since my sobriety. It's a pain in my ass. Today it was a love and lust, and I always pick up that chip, maybe because I'm single and I'm lusting over finding love. It's crazy. 8, you know, I had the list from 4 and I started making those amends. There's nobody in that never column. Everybody's been moved over to, if I run into you, I'm going to make my amends because that's what's going to keep me sober. Give up that resentment. 9 is, I work in a kitchen. I'm always making direct amends to people whenever possible. I'm always cursing people out. It happens. I work in a kitchen. 10, that alarm you heard earlier was me to do my 10-step inventory, which I'll read the questions in the 84, 85, 86, wherever they are in the book. And every one of them's, there's one that's never yes. Have I been kind and loving towards all? That's always a no. I drive in Miami. I might not curse at you physically today, but in my head, I'm plotting your demise. I want to run you off the road. I hope you fall into the canal. It's bad. And all you did was cut me off because you're an asshole. Or maybe I was driving too slow. Either way, I'm plotting your demise. But yes, it's always a no for the line, kind and loving towards all. But I'm working on it. It's a progress, not perfection. 11, prayer and through meditation. If you don't do it, it is a step. Step 11, It's got to be done. It doesn't have to be an hour meditation. It can be a 5 minute. Just say the 11-step prayer. You're good. Just connect with your higher power. You should be praying in the morning, praying at night. Just keep them simple. If you're new, for the new people, God, please help me stay sober. Call it Frank, call him Henry, call him Sarah, call it Christina. It doesn't matter what your God is as long as you're not God. But please, in the morning, thank you at night. Keep it simple. Today, my prayers are a little bit more elaborate. I never pray for myself. I'm always praying for happiness to others. And, please help me have that courage to do anything that I need to do. And then 12, when I'm asked to do something, I do it. I have a sponsee who rarely checks in with me, but I check in with him, which is kind of weird. But I'm guilty. I hardly check in with my sponsor on a phone call. We usually just text each other because it's the world we live in today. My original sponsor, no, you need to call me every day. And I'm like, I see you every day. Why do I got to call you every day? And the reason that the calling is for when shit hits the fan, you're already used to calling people. And yeah, my life is pretty good. I got to travel. I still haven't made it over the pond, but I'm working on that. But I've been in California. I've been out to Chicago. I've been to Eldon's neck of the woods in between Boston and New Hampshire. I have an amazing life, and all I had to do was put down the drink and the drug, find a God in my misunderstanding, and that's the best way to use it. Misunderstanding, work 12 steps, and continue to work 12 steps. Put 12 traditions in my life, and continue to put 12 traditions in my life. And then if you brave enough to venture into the GSR role in your district, there's another 12 to learn, which are a little crazy. And that keeps us sober one day at a time. And that's it. It's just one day. It's today. It doesn't matter that I have 6 years. It doesn't matter that I forgot who it was that had 15 years. That's amazing. Trust me, we probably couldn't stay sober for 20 minutes, but it's just today. And I'm going to leave it at that. I love you guys, and peace.